It's such a special day, and I woke up and have basically been your slave.
You have been spoiling me all day. So we hope that all of the mothers today are being spoiled everywhere. We want to celebrate you, and I know that we want this to be a super happy day for everyone, for all the mothers in the world. But we know that not everyone has, it's not easy for everybody. Some people have challenging times this time of year. Some people feel guilt this time of year. There are mothers who have, lost their children. There are children who have lost their mothers. There are mothers who feel guilty because maybe they're not with their children for some reason or another. So we know that there's lots of challenges with being happy. And, there are things you can do to actually help your happiness.
Well, and we have a happiness challenge starting next Saturday, May 15th. And we just did a podcast on it, recorded it. It's going to come out tomorrow. And for those of you that don't know, Tana and I do the Brain Warriors Way podcast. There's like 850 episodes, probably more now. And I was just so proud of you, because when you grow up with trauma, and when you grow up with drama in your life, with unpredictability, it trains your brain to look for what's wrong rather than what's right. It trains your brain to look for scary things and unhappiness.
It actually changes the brain structures and chemistry in your brain. When you grow up with chronic childhood trauma, your brain actually is affected structurally and chemically. And so things like we won't go all into this, but your hippocampus, your amygdala, what does it matter? Your hippocampus, your amygdala, your frontal lobes, all of these things get affected. You can get stuck in fight or flight, even when there's no reason. So you can always be looking for what's wrong. Your memory centers get affected, your frontal lobes, your judgment center, your ability to predict risk and reward. So which can trigger addictions, that gets affected. So lots of things are affected when you grow up with chronic childhood trauma. And so we have to sort of retrain ourselves. It doesn't mean you're just trapped with this and you have to, no matter what, that's what you're stuck with. But it does mean you have to do some work, and you have to learn how to rewire that and do some work on that.
Well, and like if you want to be physically healthy, it's a practice.
Right.
It's a practice you have to do over and over and over again. And I suppose I prefer not to have to do it.
Right.
But I don't want the consequences of being unhealthy. Mental fitness, mental discipline is just the same thing. And in the course, we're going to teach you the 7 secrets of happiness. Oh, they're the 7 secrets of brain health. And we're going to teach you to ask yourself 7 simple questions every day. And if you do this as a practice, in 30 days, you're going to be happier.
Yeah.
But it's just the beginning of what we hope is really a lifelong practice for you.
Yeah, just like we talk a lot about forgiveness, just like mental health or your dental hygiene, or your physical health. Those things are all daily practices. Forgiveness is a daily practice. People think it's a feeling. It's a daily practice. You make a choice when you don't feel like it. You practice you practice forgiveness because it's good for you. And so, love, when you don't feel like being loving, you practice it anyways. You do it anyways. It's a practice just as much as it is a feeling, because it's good for you and it's good for your relationship. And happiness is a practice because it's good for you.
And we'll actually talk about happiness as a moral obligation. And you go, it was such an unusual concept when I learned it. And then I went, well, if you're married to an unhappy spouse, that's bad. If you're raised by an unhappy parent, I just guarantee you, people who've been raised by an unhappy parent will tell you that happiness is a moral obligation, just because of how we impact other
Mhm.
people. And so we're really excited. You can go to 30dayhappinesschallenge.com, sign up. It's all free. Tan and I are going to walk you through the daily practices. And oh, by the way, I've seen some comments about social anxiety
Mhm.
and, well, what if you grew up in a refugee camp?
Mm.
And quite frankly, all the reasons people come to Amen
Yeah.
Clinics is because they're not happy. And if we can give you those practices, your anxiety will be less, the trauma you'll feel will be less, and your happiness will go up. That's our goal for you. We're coming out of a historically
Yeah.
unhappy time, and it's time to really get the daily practices together. But we want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. I'm so grateful for my mom. We're going to go see her right now. I'm so grateful for the mom in our house, which is Tana, who's mom to Chloe, to our nieces, to Aslan, the dog that's been whining in the background, and Niso, our cat, who's always actually trying to kill.
Right. And let's remember, I want to say happy Mother's Day to my mother. She has been, amazing. I got my grit from her. She's an amazing mother, and I want to wish her a happy Mother's Day. But to all the mother figures out there, and for those of you who don't necessarily have your mother in your life, if you have a maternal figure, if you have a mentor, maybe reach out and just spend, show them your gratitude today. Because it's not always our biological mothers, right? Sometimes it's our mentors, it's our role models that are important in our lives, and so that's really important as well. And we just want you to know it's not necessarily that you have to have someone biologically attached to you for you to become, a really healthy human in life. So just having a mentor can make all the difference in the world. So, and if you are someone who has struggled because you aren't a mother and you want to be a mother, or you have wanted to be a mother, being a mentor to someone can just make all the difference in the world to another person.
Well, I actually sent a text to the leaders of our clinics and of Amen Clinics that were women, and I'm like, your children, thank you so much. That they're really, they have great skill at mothering. So have an awesome Mother's Day. Hopefully, we will see you in the challenge, 30-dayhappinesschallenge.com.
Have a great day.
Bye.